You're surrounded by people. Maybe you're at a party, in a classroom, or scrolling through a group chat that never stops. There's noise, movement, laughter, connection everywhere. But somehow, you still feel like you're on the outside looking in. Like you're there physically but not truly with anyone. It's a strange kind of loneliness. The kind that makes you wonder, what's wrong with me? Why can't I feel connected like other people seem to? Here's something important. Loneliness has almost nothing to do with how many people are around you, and everything to do with whether you feel seen. You can be completely alone and feel peaceful. And you can be surrounded by friends and feel like you're disappearing. Emotional disconnection isn't about presence, it's about safety. A lot of people in their 20s struggle with this feeling. It's the decade where everything is loud: expectations, career pressure, social comparison, identity. But somehow the heart gets quieter. You smile, you show up, you make the jokes. But a part of you stays hidden, protected. And that protected part is the one that needs connection the most. We learn loneliness early, not from being alone, but from not being understood. If you grew up needing to be strong, independent, or easy to deal with, you learn to swallow your feelings so you wouldn't burden anyone. And now, as an adult, showing vulnerability feels unsafe, even with people who care. So instead you hold back. You keep it surface level. You wait for someone to magically get you without you having to open up. You crave closeness. But you fear what closeness requires. That fear creates distance. And distance creates loneliness. A part of you thinks, if people knew the real me, they'd leave. If I speak my truth, I'll be too much. If I show my needs, I'll lose them. So you shrink your needs down to something you think others can handle. You smile, not pretend. You perform closeness instead of experiencing it, and because you never show yourself, no one truly sees you, and because no one sees you, you feel alone. Loneliness is not caused by lack of people. It's caused by lack of emotional permission. The permission to exist fully, without filtering, without fear. Think about the last time you were with someone and felt disconnected. You may have been physically close, but mentally somewhere else. Your brain was analyzing, trying to act normal, trying to figure out the right thing to say. That mental filter. That constant self-monitoring. That's loneliness. Because when you're busy managing yourself, you can't connect. The truth is, you don't want more people. You want someone who sees the parts you've hidden. You want a space where you don't have to pretend. You want connection that feels safe enough to let your guard down. But safety has to be built, and that's where the fear kicks in. Our brains are wired to protect us from rejection. Vulnerability once meant survival. If your tribe rejected you, you were literally in danger. So today, even a small emotional risk, telling a friend you're hurting, asking to be included, saying, "I need you," can feel terrifying. The brain interprets that vulnerability as danger and pulls you back inside yourself. You become quiet. You isolate in public. You watch connection instead of participating in it. And that creates a painful paradox. You want someone to come closer, but you also push them away without meaning to. You wait for people to read your mind. You hope they'll notice the sadness behind your smile. You want them to fight for you to open up. But how can they fight for a door they can't see? The saddest part of loneliness is that it often happens to the people who care the most. Sensitive people. Deep feelers. Those who want genuine connection, not small talk. Those who would show up for others with their whole heart, if they ever felt safe doing it. But you don't have to turn off your depth to survive. Your sensitivity is not the problem, the lack of safety is. And here's something most people never realize. Loneliness is your mind's way of saying, there's more of you that wants to be known. That ache in your chest isn't weakness, it's truth. It's the part of you begging to be real. To stop organizing your identity around who you think you need to be. To stop pretending you don't need connection, because you do. And that need is not embarrassing, it's human. The first step to healing loneliness is letting yourself exist, really exist, not the masked version. not the edited version. The real one. It starts small, saying how you actually feel, asking for what you need, sharing your opinions instead of agreeing automatically, allowing imperfections to show, letting someone comfort you instead of saying, "I'm fine." Each tiny moment of honesty builds safety. Each time you stay instead of hide, connection grows. You don't need to be interesting. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to earn the right to belong. You only need to be you, without apologizing for it. Loneliness often tells you that you're unwanted, but most of the time, you're not unwanted, you're unrevealed. There are people who will understand you, but they can't if you never let them see you. There are people who can love you, but they can't love the version of you that you never show. Someone out there is looking for exactly the kind of connection you keep hiding. The world doesn't need another masked person in a crowded room. It needs you, uncovered. You deserve relationships where you don't have to perform. Where silence doesn't feel like abandonment. Where closeness doesn't feel like danger. Connection isn't the absence of loneliness. Connection is the presence of truth. And when you finally allow that truth to exist, when you let yourself be seen, the loneliness that once felt endless starts to soften. You're still learning, still scared, still human. But for the first time, you're not doing it alone. Your loneliness isn't a defect, it's a message. A reminder that you're meant to connect deeper than you've been allowed to. You are not invisible. You are not too much. You are not alone, not anymore. Understand your mind. Reconnect with your heart.